Hello and welcome. I'm the Theory Detective, and these lessons will uncover the mystery of music theory. Now, in the last lesson, we talked about how seconds and steps are actually the same. For steps, you can have whole steps, which are larger, and half steps, which are smaller. But they're both steps, and they're both the interval or the distance of a second. If you go from a bottom note and count 1, 2, that would be a second. 1, 2, that would be a second. To get a third, you would say 1, 2, 3, or you would skip a note, such as the A skip up to the C. So here's A, and here's a C. And it skips the B in between. But there are larger intervals, so let's find a couple of those. Doing the counting method, 1, 2 makes a second, and 1, 2, 3 makes a third. So let's find some larger intervals. Over here, 1, 2, 3 on the space, 4 on the line. So that makes this an interval of a fourth. And from here to here, I'll put a little bracket. There we are. And from here to here, D to A, 1, 2 on the space, 3 on the line, 4 on the space, and 5 on the line. So I'm going to do another bracket and put fifth. Now what about A down to E? E on the space, F on the line, G on the space, and A on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be a fourth. And going down again, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be another fourth. And going down further to this E, way down here, the B to the E, 1, 2 on the space, 3 on the line, 4 on the space underneath the F, and then 5 on the E. So this would be an interval of a fifth. But we can also stack them. These are one at a time, such as here's A to D, here's D, up to A, here's A again, down to E, here's E again, down to B, here's B again, down to E. So these are all one at a time, or according to the melody, melodic. But what about harmonic, harmony, according to the harmony? So for that, we stack them one on top of each other. So here's an E, and there's an A, so we play them together. In an orchestra setting, this one would be played by one instrument and that another. Or in a vocal setting, this note would be sung by one person and that one another. So let's do this counting method again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That comes out to be a fourth. And here, 1, 2 on the line, 3 on the space, 4 on the line, and then 5. So this one's larger. And you have a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a fifth. 1, 2 on the space, 3 on the line, 4 on the space. And you have a fourth. There we are. Now you have fourths and fifths to add to your seconds and thirds. And these are much bigger gaps. One of the ways you can remember, just by looking at them, is that the fourth has a gap, but one is on a line and the other is on a space. They will always be opposites of each other. Whereas the fifth, you notice if the lower one is on a space, then the higher one is also on a space. Or if the lower one is on a line, the higher one must also be on a line. Kind of like thirds, and I can put a third in between here and here. So you see the third and the fifth stack nicely on top of each other. just like that. Whereas with the fourth, if I was to add a third, I'd have to squeeze it in off to the side to create a second. So the fifths and thirds stack very nicely. And a fourth has a gap, but it's opposite, line to space, or line to space, or space to line, space to line. Okay? So, go ahead and take out 2 more note cards. On one interval of a fourth, the distance between 2 notes, where counting the notes, you get to 4. And the same with the fifth, except this time you would count to 5. Add those to your practice pile, and as always, have a great day.